All right, my project today is to tear all of this vinyl tile that some crazy person put on the wall over this beautiful tile off. I've got a little bit of it pulled back here, and we're going to go ahead and use these pliers. You see, I've got to pull this electrical cover off of here so I can get this one off. So I've got to unscrew it and get it off there. I'm going to use this putty knife to get a start on this bad boy and yank it right off. And as you can see, there's a lot of glue on there, and we got to get that off too. And there's also some wooden white trim that's on here that we've got to pull off, which isn't too hard. We got to get this whole thing down here off of there. And you can see that this is starting to pull away a little bit, so I got to be kind of careful when I pull this off, because you'll see what happens here. See how that bull nose just kind of pulled off? So we're going to have to take those off, and we're going to have to put some thin set and then regrout those after we get done, which is an extra added bonus to doing this job. See how that baby's coming right off of there? The only thing holding it up is that piece of grout. All right, let's just set that over there and we'll get to work on the rest of this. I'm going to use the putty knife to exert some pressure against the good tile as I pull off the vinyl on the way down. And as you can see, we've got our work cut out for us getting this glue off of there. I still got a couple tiles more down here to pull off. All right, so once you've got all the vinyl tile pulled off, you'll notice there's a lot of adhesive that's still stuck to the other tile. You're going to need a razor blade and to pull off that adhesive, or the big chunks at least, and maybe some pliers to get some of the grout out of there. So we have the wall behind the toilet and the floor that we've got to peel away. And once we get it all peeled away, we're going to use a Goo Gone to help us get rid of the adhesive on the tiles. All right, once you've got all of the vinyl tiles pulled off, you got to use a razor blade to scrape off the excess. And this is what it looks like. We're kind of getting there. Still have to get some Goo Gone on there and get that last bit of film off. To make it easier, I pulled the toilet, and I'm going to rebuild the toilet anyway, so we pulled that off the floor. Now we can get to these vinyl tiles that are stuck on top of this exquisite tile that looks like it's probably from the 1960s. So it's very cool. It took a lot of elbow grease and muscle power to pull these things up. As you can see, we're using pliers and just yanking them. It took a couple hours just to get the floor up off of here, but it's definitely well worth the effort when you see what it looks like after we get it all up. All right, after we get all the glue and stuff off of the wall and the floor, which we did, that took hours, now we've got to caulk it. So we've got to make sure all of the corners and everything are nice and sealed tight, and that little toilet dispenser, we got to caulk that. So we decided instead of using thin set, we would use liquid nails on these. As you notice, there's a number on the back of that piece of bullnose tile. So we're starting with the bottom one, which is number 4. Make sure you number them so you know exactly where they go. Otherwise, they will not fit. It's kind of like a puzzle. And we just kind of set her up there. That's the bottom one. And we're going to put them all up there just like that. Push them on real tight. All right, so once you got it on there, you want to put a piece of painter's tape real tight to it to keep it on there just in case you bump up against it. And it holds it in place until the glue dries. All right, so you keep on working your way up, putting the tape on. The last piece is that little corner piece. So we had to put a bunch of glue in there, and then we had to kind of fill in that little space in there. And then when we put it in, we found that there was just a little chunk and it just wouldn't set right. So you can see we're trying to get it in, but it's kind of high. So we had to do a little demolition. We had to grab the hammer and chop out a little piece that was kind of sticking in there. We tried to use the blade, didn't work, got the hammer, got that screwdriver, hit it a couple times, popped that bad boy out of there, and then we finally got it to fit perfectly. All right, so we've caulked all around here, all the way down here, up that seam, and we caulked these instead of grouting them, and it looks fantastic. Over here, the same thing. All along the edge there, and down through this area here. We got to do the wall, of course, but it looks pretty good. All right, and here we are on the finished product. Toilet completely rebuilt, cleaned up, fixed, got the bidet on it. Awesome looking tile on the floor. This was, we repainted, put all new hinges on it, cleaned up all that tile, put those bull noses on there, put all of the grout and the caulking in. It looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. That's it. Let's give you a view. And that is our rework. And it only cost $20 for the parts on the toilet, $40 for the bidet, and I bought a couple cans of things at Cog, and we also got some Go-Gone or Goo-Gone or whatever you call that stuff to get rid of the adhesives. And that's it, man. That's it. Do it yourself and save money. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Peace out.